Hello, beautiful stars. Welcome to today's very special reading. Because today we are looking a bit into the future, and we're asking your not only future self but your empowered future self, and see what kind of guidance and message they have for you. I like to do past reading, past lives, and then focusing on the present and your empowerment in the present. And then we're going to look beyond time and space in the future to give us indication and guidance and advice from all around the spectrum of the timeline, right? From your past, your present, to your future, to see what spirit wants to convey in terms of the potential you have to become, or the possible realities that you have to become. All right, so we have 4 piles to choose from today. Let's show you the options here. Pile 1, this is your oracle. This is your image. This is your tarot and the image. The Lenormand and the image. And pile 2, this is the oracle and the image. Your tarot and the image. And the Lenormand and the image. Okay, pile 3, your oracle and the image. Your tarot and the image. Your Lenormand and the image. Alright, and pile 4, we have something a little bit different for your group. Your cards wanted to come out in multiples, so we have this as the oracle back, and then we have 2 images for you. Okay. And your tarot, this is the back image. And then we have 3 images here. So that one, this one, and this one. Okay. And for you, Lenormand, this is the back image. And these are the images. All right, lovely stars, take a moment to tune into your intuition, seek the counsel of your guides to help you if needed. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, however you do this process. One thing I do want to note is I'm still going to be doing your shuffling process, but I'm going to be omitting that from the video in the interest of time. If anybody's really strongly liking that process, you can convey it in the comments down below to me. I can take a poll as well on our community page now, and we'll see if you want to include that in the video. Like I said, I'm still doing the process. I'm just, for the sake of time, not included in the videos anymore. All right, so take a moment to choose your pile. The timestamps for each pile will be down below, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, Pile 1s. Welcome to your reading. Alright, so yeah, gonna be very interesting reading today. Just the energy all across the board. So let's start with your main oracle here. So we have vibrational match. You're sending out new signals that are bringing forward positive new experiences. Oh, I see a lot of attraction coming in. It's like almost like calling in your soul family. It's the vibe I'm getting from that card there. Yeah, so when we're talking about vibrational match, it's the vibrational match of your soul family coming in. And on this planet, in this incarnation, a lot of it will be coming in as friends, is what I'm seeing. Yeah, so primarily that. Okay, let's look at this energy here. Home sweet home. Your home and family matters require your attention and tender loving care. I'm getting disaster relief, natural disasters. I mean, like really hone into this cyclone over here. Perhaps you've been recently, or the energy you're dealing with. Yeah, perhaps recently helping those in need in regards to catastrophic natural disasters. We're looking at the overall energy of your empowered future self here. So your empowered future self has some big missions here, especially in link with all your soul family here, and working big missions like this, like huge. Yeah, I keep on getting like disaster relief, and environmental causes and factors and things like that. Are coming in strongly. Some of you may be younger too. Okay. Interesting. So let's look at these cards next. So we have mine. Okay, providing peace of mind. And then also having the peace of mind within yourself. Okay, what does this mean in regards to? Okay, it's speaking to similar energy over here too with breathe, but let's read the message here. You are the master of your inner world, and you decide how the outer world affects you. Cultivate a calm inner state. Okay. Okay, and then we have breathe. Okay, I see you still working to get into your alignment to shift and elevate, yes, accentuate, enhance the energy of those around you, especially in a nature environmentally kind of fashion. Yeah, for lack of better words. Basically altering and changing your environments, enhancing for the better, especially in regards to like nature and things like that, and plants as well. See a lot of that going on around you. So we have possibly our environmentalists here, or those that are, what's that word? Action affirmatives? Activists? Something like that, yes. Okay, so our message is the calmer you are, the more time slows down, and the easier it is to get everything done. So in regards to this energy, so two messages here in regards to kind of like the empowered version you have become, right? You're going to be dealing with a lot of tumultuous kind of situation. Okay, tumultuous is a bit strong of a word. You're going to challenging. You're going to be dealing with a lot of challenging situations in the future in regards to your soul purpose, your soul mission. So maintaining an easy state of mind, a calm state of mind, will help you navigate through your stresses, and staying also hearing organized is going to be beneficial for you. Yeah, because tackling things on the realm of something this big will require that sense of peace and composure in your internal self, and then it will reflect out to your daily activities and world. So the stress don't overwhelm and don't overtake you. And the other message is, yeah, I see your empowered future self working on that really well, even in the midst of what's going on here, right? And then staying in alignment to to keep up with that. Okay, so we have risk next. Okay. It's certainly a few with potential risk, not in the danger form, although I mean, sometimes when you're dealing with relief and disaster relief, the danger therein lies within the disaster itself, perhaps, or being an activist. Yeah, there can come challenges of that, but I sense risk in more of the uncertainty. Yes, the uncertainty of the effect of the influence of the work that you're going to do. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Or what do they mean by that? So when you're dealing with policies and trying to promote change on a bigger scale, the quote-unquote risk or the uncertainty there is it's you don't know whether the effect or what you're going for, the goal, is going to be implemented, right? So the part of the advice here is to keep on striving forward with that. And also making changes where necessary. If you're going down a pathway and you're seeing it's not, the tactics and the results are not coming in, or your strategy of how to approach this, let's say, okay, can we get examples? But one example is coming in is kind of like maybe cleaning up plastic bottles on the ocean, right? And you're trying to get community and group to do it, and it's like schedule with your local mayor or something like that in a certain way, but somehow the help is not coming through at a rate or at a quantity that you need. So it's time to re-strategize that tactic, right? It's like, oh, come on this day to help out, and this is a really random example, but I'm just throwing it out there. It's like, like we'll have a potluck cleanup day. So, people come and help clean up on the beach, and afterwards you all have a good merry time with a potluck or something. It's just a random example. But yeah, there's a talk about changing up tactics and strategy to implement and get the effect that you need in terms of your goal. All right, and the message is take a chance. Every risk is a success when you're committed to learning and growth. Precisely what we just talked about, and I had no idea what the message was. So yeah, we're talking about tactics, strategy, learning and growing, right? Adapting, changing the situation. Also, who to approach is coming through. So if you're going to one particular governing power or whatever to try to change or implement these goals, perhaps it's time to switch it up and take a risk, right? It's like, oh, well, what if I talk to or try to reach out to maybe a celebrity or an influencer or somebody else who has a different kind of sway of power over the population to achieve my goals. Yeah. Wow, wonderful. Okay. So yeah, I see a very calm center, or if that's not the case, this is talking about your empower version, right? It's the encouragement right now to get into that state while you're dealing with goals and potentials that require a lot of you, and that potentially has a lot of stress in the down this field, this line of work. Yeah. And you're definitely not alone, as we talked about earlier, with getting your soul family, friends, people to come in and help you. So we have a couple of other oracles here. We have the Rebel. Okay. Yeah, so definitely the Rebel speaks exactly to what we've been talking about so far. But you also have... okay. So let's see here. So in this deck, it's a primarily goddess deck, but there's also archetypes in it. And I would be stunned if this one is not a goddess, but another archetype. But we'll see when we review the cards. But let's see the energy of this rebel here. Yeah, I see a lot of organization. You're not just somebody who's like an activist or have a goal, a plan, and just kind of like jump into it and you know, like go protest at... I mean, you do, but you don't do it without a set intention behind it, is what I would say. What was the right way to describe this? An organized plan and intention is the best way I can convey this. It's like you don't just jump into the fray without without preparing yourself. So you come armed with knowledge, armed with data, with facts, with plans, with backup plans, you know, plan A, plan B, with a lot of intelligence and savviness to you. It's like that's part of your empower ability too. You are able to... you have the power of magic and creation here. I'm getting very magician vibes. So the power, when you set your mind to something and you organize and you plan so well, you are like this power ball of like initiative, is what I would say. So yeah, when you set your mind something and you plan and you coordinate really well and you imbue it with the magic of creation and your creativity and your thinking and your intellect, you can get things really accomplished and really done and achieved, right? Of course you'll be met with resistance when we're talking about working with things on a global scale like this, but it doesn't deter you. It doesn't it doesn't put you off. Like I said, you are so in your future empowered self, you are so in tune and attuned with yourself and your desires and your goals that you have this very strong inclination about you. Wow, very strong energy coming through here. Absolutely amazing. All right, let's look at your other oracle here. Okay, we have Hecate, or Hecate, as how some others would pronounce it. So Hecate is about crossroads here, change and shift. And the energy I'm getting with Hecate here is, or Hecate, I think I'll just call it Hecate. We're talking about diverging paths and shifts and changes and shifts in regards to potentials for people. Like you'll be leading the torch and you'll be the guide, right? You'll be the guide, guiding people, leading people, showing them the pathways to achieve these goals, these plans, whatever. You're the rebel. You're like, you have this goddess energy archetype. Perhaps for some of you working with this energy archetype of being the leader, the guide, the way shower, showing people pathways of where to go is part of that leadership quality you have, is what I would say. Yes. And you're someone who's very intelligent, someone who knows how to calculate very well. Calculate, organize, analyze. I remember in your selection process for your tarot, we had the Queen of Swords, and that's very representative of your energy as well. And also in your Lenormand, Okay, so speaking of that, I think that's the overall energy we have going on here for your empowered self, your qualities, and the your empowered future self coming through, telling you if you don't see any of this right now, or any of these aspects that we just talked about, it's certainly an encouragement, right? Because we're talking about the future, so it's an encouragement to work on those aspects, especially the self-care, self-alignment, tuning in. That's why the self-care oracle came out through for you here too, to get into that alignment, to work towards your goal and accomplish what you want to achieve, because you certainly have the capabilities, the abilities, and the power to do it. So absolutely amazing. All right, and I think we want to go into your Lenormand next. Okay. So, in doing the shape for your Lenormand in the shuffling process, nothing short of amazing. We have the shape of a crown, and within that crown, or on top of that crown, it's like a jewel. Yeah. So, let's see. Here we have. Let's review this one by one. Okay, so we have the rider. Okay. Let's always talk about companionship usually. Okay, and then we have the book. And then we have the clouds. And then we have the house. And for this side of the crown, we have the key. And then we have the man, or the masculine energy. Very charming. Okay, and then we have for the jewel, that's, you can either think of it on top of the crown or in the crown. We have, of course, the garden. And that makes a lot of sense with your reading. Wow, okay, everything ties in amazingly here. So let me see, let me make some room here. So we have the house here, the clouds here. Yeah, this is better. So this is your crown, right? With 3 pointed spikes, tears, whatever. And then we have the jewel. So let's speak about a couple of things. You, as we talk about with Hecate and the rebel here, you are the bringer of knowledge. You are the guide that leads people in certain pathways. Like if you want to, and we have 12:12 on the clock for you when we talk about that. When we're talking about, like, if people are seeking a certain path or seeking way, you will know how to lead them. You have that very leadership quality. I also want to say entrepreneur for some of you. Okay, that just came through. So that might resonate for some of you. But yeah, very strong leadership quality. Bringing them the knowledge, giving them the information, giving them the knowledge. It's like somebody comes and say, like, hey, I want to study more about marine biology conservation. And you're like, I know exactly where to lead you. These are the information, here it is. Or yeah, so on and so forth. Water conservation, whatever. You will have the conversations that you need because you have the knowledge that you need, and you take people along with you. That's your leadership quality. And also you bring this knowledge out abundantly to people, just spreading and disseminating like seeds in the winds. And these ideas will take seed in people's minds, and they're like, oh, okay, maybe I hadn't thought about conservation before, but now that I hear Pile number 1 talking about it, it's kind of inspired to me to, or kind of interests me to look more into that. And where things are currently is that, in your present time right now, when you're listening to this reading, right, things are a little bit nebulous, a little bit cloudy, a little bit uncertain in terms of and exactly where we fall over with that risk taking, the uncertainty we talked about earlier with the Oracle card. In terms of, it's not that you don't have a goal, desire, or plan. You certainly have all that. You have the goal, you have the desire, you have the plan, you have the organization. But it's the results or the potential projections of where the results are that's uncertain. And the advice for that is, don't be too focused on the result, because once when you project so much into a potential result, this is the perfect example here. It causes stress and confusion, and that's why there's advice to get back into your alignment when that stress and confusion comes about, right? When you plant a seed and you keep on worrying about like what kind of tree it's going to grow into, and that's going to cause a lot of stress over time. It's like, oh, did I get the soil condition right? Like, what about the weather? Like, I have to look into that on a daily basis. It's like, it's just so much mental stress that is unnecessary. You planted the seed, you cultivated the soil, you water it regularly, the amount that it needs. Now there's just the patience of waiting to see how it grows, and then you tend to it as it grows. And that's the exact guidance here or advice here with the house. You built that structure around your goal and what you're working towards, right? That project, that plan, that community. You already established the foundation for it, the stability aspect for it. Now you just have to wait to see how it unfolds. And every time you get into the stress mode of like, oh, well, what about XYZ? What about? Tune into yourself, reconnect, realign, and let that diffuse all the stress of what abouts or what ifs. Because this goal, this plan, the thing you're working on, whatever it is for all of you, it's meant to go public. It's meant to be heard, work with, reach, like disseminating seeds, reach the community, reach things, people on a global scale, on a bigger grand scheme of things. And I see a lot of nature stuff going on here too, with some of you, with what you're working on, right? So yeah, definitely like environmentalist plants coming through here, enhancing the plant's energy all around you. Your environment is what we're talking about. It has to do with nature as well. And the thing is, part of your other aspect of your crown, amazingly, is you'll be like this enchanter that your words, when you talk, when you speak, when you present your goal, when you present your plan, you present your ideals, people will be swooned by it. They will be inspired, that the seeds will take root in their mind. And because you hold the key, you hold very important information to make shifts and changes in the world. So yeah, that's why it will play out like music to their ears. It's like it's a symphony they never heard of, but when they do hear it for the first time, it touches them so much that it uplifts them and inspires them. It shifts the energy within them, and as much as you have the energy to shift the energy in the environments around you, you have the energy the ability, capability, and the leadership to shift and inspire the energy in the people that you come in contact with, and that is your community and your world. Absolutely amazing. That's why a crown is coming out for you in the Lenormand here, and especially a jewel on top, and that jewel is the connection to every to everybody out there, to the oneness of all. And it's funny, when I started filming this, it was 10:11, and then today is 11:1. So a lot of one connected, interconnectedness out there is the oneness of all that we have here and what we're striving towards. Well, for a good portion of us. All right, let's look into your tarot here. Okay, so we have the Six of Swords. Okay, so again, moving away from that fogginess. Okay, moving away from loss of something. And we have the Queen of Wands. Interesting. Okay, and we have the King of Wands. Wow. Okay, I'm going to look at these two energies again carefully. Let's see. We have the Knight of Wands. Holy Wands. This is more of your energy here. And then we have the Eight of Swords. Wow. This is a beautiful depiction of the Eight of Swords. Oh, so appropriate that Spirit chose this deck for you. Okay, let me look at these two energy again real quickly. I want to confirm if there's another message in here. Okay, so I feel like this is more of your energy right here, the Knight of Wands. And it's funny, we have a whole family of wands here, and talking about soul family here, right? Because I don't feel this is you. I don't feel like either of these are your energy. I feel this is more of your energy here. So first of all, let's talk about the Six of Swords here. So yes, giving safe passage or giving passage for those away from the murkiness and their confusion, and also passage away from your own mental confusion or your own mental stress as well, right? Is the basis of what we have here in the energy of this card. Especially those who have feel like, you know, their causes perhaps, or their projects, their goals, their plans, their desires, their strengths have waned or weakened. Yeah, it's like you're giving them a bit of comfort via the inspiration you provide, to kind of shift them away from that energy. Like we talked about earlier, influencing the energy of the environment around you and within the people as well. Because you are like this guide with Hecate, this messenger that brings magic, pure magic. And we had that in the Rebel too, with the unicorn on her, the unicorn lapel here on this person's shirt. Sorry, I was thinking of something else. Pronouns and whatnot. And maybe some of that's what you're doing too, breaking out of old conventional system in regards to identity and pronouns and things like that, perhaps. But yeah, so bringing pure magic to people, the words that you sing, the words that you speak, the way that you speak it will naturally be magic to people. And this, I feel, it's a collaboration with your soul family here. Your very strong soul tribe and family. It's a very interesting little story going on here with these 3 cards. So yeah, you're coming up and joining with somebody. There's some form or some sort of message that will connect you to somebody who's already very powerful, very has a platform, has an audience, and yeah, their spirit's gonna connect you somehow. It is part of your soul family after all. And the interesting thing here is there's also another person involved, perhaps a potential, perhaps a partner with this person here. And the thing is, they're kind of like, they have some power, some sway, but for whatever reason, they're kind of subdued at the moment. They're not really, I want to say, not really active, not really out there, not really acknowledged. And somehow you coming in connection with this person will either reactivate this person or revitalize this person, or really get this person acknowledged or out there. Yeah, so very pretty interesting message here. So, and this is like a whole soul family right here, right? We have Knight, King, and Queen, all of one suit. So yeah, something about the connection here. The spirit's going to connect you somehow, and then you're going to revitalize another person in your soul family, and then together you all will do great collaborative work together. Yes. And I think that's all we have for that message. But yeah, somebody's a bit more on the dormant side, I guess I would say, and somebody has an active platform, and together all 3 of you will create something wondrous. Definitely reaching out to the masses. And I love how we're ending for your tarot with this card here with the 8 of Swords and the depiction of this. It reminds me of the World card, because usually the 8 of Swords, it's about mental anxiety and stress, and not being able to see your way out. But Spirit chose this deck for a very specific reason. It coincides with the alignments you have in the self-care, because you can see in this card, this person has mastered their mental stresses. Like, they have a firm hold on 2 of the 8 swords, and not only that, like, they are blooming. They're looking like the figure in the world shape of the tarot. And also the owl here representing wisdom and guidance, coming through from spirit as well, and from the knowledge, intelligence, and wisdom that you do have, because you have firmly grasped you have control of your mental confusion and state. This is the empowered version of you in the future that's coming through. Your future empowered version is saying, this is what you have become. And if you're not there yet, or you don't see it yet, work on your inner alignment. Is what's encouraged. Because in the future, you have such mastery over the mental realm. We saw Queen of Swords in your selection process. And they're pointing that out again. So yeah, someone who is represented to the world, and it's going to be this amazing influence upon the world. Yes, this amazing leader in the world, more so than just an influence. It's going to be a leader, and you're going to work with your soul family to accomplish that. So absolutely wonderful to hear. Holy cow, Pile number 1, way to kick off this reading today. Thank you so much for joining us here with your energy. But that was the message from your future empowered self. Great things to look forward to. We know you have the mental capabilities for it. So just align that and tune with yourself and your power, and yeah, get to it, because there's a lot of wonders that are waiting for you here in the future. All right, Pile1, that was your message. I will conclude it here. If you found the message helpful or insightful, or you liked it, please consider liking and subscribing. I wish you a magical, wonderful day, and shine bright. Take care. Have a beautiful, lovely time, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye, Pile number ones. Hello, Pile2. Welcome to your reading. All right, so let's see what your future empowered self has to say to you. All right, let's look at our first oracle here with the tiger. Okay. I see. Okay. It's a matter of paying attention. Okay. And then we have a deep breath. A lot of mindfulness coming through here. Excuse me. And 7 might be significant for some of you, as they're pointing that out. All right, and we have quieting the mind. Yeah, just as I mentioned, mindfulness here. And mindfulness here as well in our main oracle. Okay. So I see a lot of you are perhaps doing a lot of meditative work, Kundalini activation. Yeah, but there's something to be mindful of in regards to this process. Let's see what it is. Let's see what your future empowered self's trying to say here. So we have sisterhood with friendship, allies, compatible souls, loyalty, joy, and delight. Okay, deep, dark, shadow waters. Okay, and then we have receptivity with allow yourself to receive, allow yourself to give. Okay. And for this side, we have Yamaya, grandmother, ocean, primordial. A little bit about lineage. I'm seeing 3s and 4s is what's standing out. Okay, and then we have sacrifice with there are those worth making and there are those that will destroy you. Okay. All right, so the overall energy here, interestingly, it is we have coming from your empowered self in the future here, is to be mindful of when you're doing internal shadow work. Yeah, so especially when you're working with Kundalini energy, right? It's very strong energy, and for those of you who are not resonating with this message right now, it's also working in regards to energies around you. Hold on. Yeah, a lot of self-shadow work going on here, acknowledging, but something about working with internal energy and external energy and being cautious about it. It's what your empowered future self wants to say. yes, it's something that needs to be taken seriously. It's not some well, better way to convey is it's not something to be taken lightly when when we're working with our inner aspects or our hidden, with our subconsciousness, perhaps like past life regressions, or working with lineage as well. Lurking is also coming through here. And it's interesting because your Lenormand shape, which we will get into soon enough, has is in the shape of a wave. It's what they gave me, and your energy was also interesting in that sense. It's like there's a calm, serene peacefulness on the surface, but then deep down in the depths are something waiting to be acknowledged, because it's hidden. It's deep. It's it's the depth of the ocean kind of feeling energy. And it's not a coincidence that the Mermaid Oracle came out for you too. So yeah, I see a lot of self-work coming in from your empowered future self, and attaining that peace of mind. But when you're doing that process, I think your future self is saying just to be really aware, to really take meticulous mental notes of your progression, of your growth, and to be very cautious with it as you whether you're doing meditations, ritual ceremonies, whatever have you, however you do it, it's to be extremely mindful of the processes you're doing. It's, and I do see you, and I get a feeling of doing this kind of solo, but it's kind of risky in that sense, because sometimes it might be beneficial to work with others, especially if you're working on lineage stuff and you're working on past lives, karma, lineage, energy. It might be helpful or useful to have those that are that can help guide you or to work with you. And I'm being reminded here that it doesn't necessarily mean like somebody in the, like say your family or something, or your friends. It could also be your spiritual guides, right? And they're really reminding me to really connect and get guidance from your spiritual guide, your spiritual team, your higher self. Tap into source too if you have to. But yeah, when you're doing a lot of this work, it's good to seek the help and the assistance of higher vibrational beings to really help you with this process, because they can protect you, they can ground you, they can guide you. It'll be a lot more beneficial when you have that kind of support network from your spiritual team around you. Like I said, it doesn't have to be your physical 3D support. It can be primarily your spiritual support team. We're talking about giving and receiving here, and it's like your spiritual team is there. Don't be afraid to, or don't be hesitant, I should say, to reach out to, say like when you're in the deep trance of meditation or something, and you encounter something that's really heavy hitting. In that moment, you can immediately ask your guides, it's like, hey, please, I need some help, I need some assistance with this energy, like please guide me through, spirit. It's all you have to say, all you have to ask for. But yeah, a lot of transformational work going on from the future here. A lot of energy activation. So it's good to be very mindful, to be very aware, to be very wary, and then ask for higher vibrational assistance. Okay, interesting. Also very interesting that this true black tarot came out for you, because we're lighting up the dark, the shadow sides aspects of ourselves that we're looking at. So all your all your card decks energies are very appropriate with your reading here. The Zen of Animals here, which is a deck I just got recently, yeah, it's talking about the 2 layers of that wave on your Lenormand that we talked about. The serene, seemingly serene energy, the meditation, the meditative states you're going through and navigating on the surface level. But once you get deeper into the subconscious, into your the depth of your mind, it takes a lot more navigation. You have to be really attuned and clear and extremely mindful of yourself and your capabilities. All right, let's look into, I think we want to pull the tarot next, so let's do that. Okay, so we have Judgment. Okay. It's a navigation of energy here, right? To almost kind of like expel demons and spirits, entities. Yeah, and then working on with wounds, working with energies that are perhaps more destructive and aggressive, and being really clear with the intention about that. Interesting. Okay, and then we have the Moon. Okay, yeah, deeply tapping into the intuition here. And that's why there's a helping hand, because sometimes you might not be able to pull yourself out. Trance is coming through a lot. So perhaps some of you are working with ceremony, with psychedelics, like perhaps like ayahuasca or something, or shrooms or things of those nature. And that's why there's advice to kind of have assistance as well, especially if you're working on the realms of those things. Unless you are an expert or a shaman yourself, or someone who has a lot of knowledge about those plants, those fungi. Yeah, that's why when people go on those kind of journeys, they often have an elder, someone who's very experienced to help them through the process. Okay, and then we have the Devil. That's why this card falls right here. It's traversing the depths of your mind that is most beneficial, but at the same time also the most dangerous, is what I'm getting. Okay, and then we have the 6 of Wands here. Okay, so that is good. And then we have the Knight of Swords. Okay. So, yeah. Your future empowered self has, that message of caution, but it's also very encouraging of a message as well, because we do see very positive cards coming out here. It's gonna be quite a journey. That's kind of like an understatement in terms of what you have to work with, what you have to deal with. You have to really look at your pains, your hurts, your energy, where it's been focused more into destructive things, more into aggressive phases, really conquering yourself, basically. Yeah, and that's what we're talking about. because you're tapping deeply into your intuition, into the depths of your soul, right? And getting help along that process, because when you're like we talked about earlier, traversing or navigating the recesses and the depths of your mind and your subconscious and your shadows and what's hidden, it can be challenging at times to discern what's real and what isn't. It's like, do I really carry that pattern in my lineage, or from that lineage, I mean from my lineage through me, or like is that something that is projected from my mind, or is that my thoughts carrying me astray, or leading me astray, or running rampant? So that's the kind of tricky energy we're dealing with here. The ego, the mind, tends to play tricks on itself. So that's why having assistance might be useful. But your empowered future self is saying that you do come out successful as you carefully navigate these depths and these waters. But in order to do that, it's a matter of being cautious about it and being prepared about it. Because sometimes, even when you think you're prepared, something comes out the left field, right? And it just hits you, and you're like, whoa, did not expect that trauma to come bawling in when I was working on this aspect of myself. That came quite as a surprise, a shock. And yes, we do see you navigating it very well. But just keep in mind, be very mindful is what we're saying. We do see good positive outcomes of this whole journey, this whole process for you. So kudos to that, but keep on working on it, because it's an involved process that's full of depth and full of tricky situations to navigate, or tricky energies within your mind and your being to navigate. Wow, pile number 2. Okay, so let's look at your Lenormand here. So we have the wave going this direction. So we have 3 on the top, and then 3 on the bottom. Let me just scoop these up. Yeah, there we go. And then 3 for the bottom of the depth of the waves here. This is the wave of the waters on the surface, and this is the depth of the ocean, or whatever is deeper in whatever bodies of water you're thinking of. So we have the fox. Yeah, talk about tricky. Okay, and then we have the star. Oh, interesting. But you see the stars in this contained lamp line here. And I also see it bouncing around quite vigorously. Like it's like wanting to get out. And we have the moon again. But the moon in Lenormand is a little bit different than the moon in the tarot. Okay. And then we have the key here. Next we have the child. And then we have the tree. Okay. Definitely for some of you, past life regression therapy. Perhaps some of you are going through that process. Or working with lineage going back in your ancestry, healing traumas from there. Also, inner child as well. There's something you're trying to unlock. The situation is quite tricky. Like it's almost like you have this very adamant goal of like, oh, I want to become this brilliant star of sorts. Yeah, it's like discovering an aspect of yourself, a desire, a wish of some sort to discover this aspect, to become perhaps more spiritual in nature, or just like knowing of yourself very well. But there's the strong desire and energy around it, because you feel like it's a key that will unlock something. Yeah, slowly and surely it starts out small, but then it grows bigger, and it definitely has to do with lineage. Your reading is just as mysterious as the depths of what you've got going on, Pile2. So on the surface, yeah, we're seeing you. Yeah, navigating this tricky aspect and being uncertain about it. Deeply diving into your intuition, your ceremonies, to find the answer. But the wave that is deep down inside is this strong desire to unlock something within yourself. You're trying to seek perhaps your inner child or something in your lineage. Yeah, okay, now we have to know. All right, so let me grab another tarot deck here, and see what is fueling the strong desire here. So we know what your future self is saying, because your future empowered self has made some progress and strides in terms of conquering this aspect. But yeah, I'm curious about what the strong desire here is. Okay, can we please know, Spirit, for pile number 2, what is the significance of this desire for self-improvements, for spiritual growth, for seeking a key source of, some sort of unlocking for their potential self? What is driving this, Spirit? Okay. So we have 1, 2, let's see, 3 here. Oops, that's sneaking away. Okay. No, not that one. This one here. 3. Do we want to go with some more? Okay, we have to know. Can we please know, Spirit, if we are allowed to? What is driving pile number 2 so strongly? Okay, we have the Hierophant. Okay, yeah, we're seeking this. We have the King of Swords. Okay. See, you're very determined perhaps to carry on a lineage of sorts. We have the Queen of Swords. Okay, definitely talk about lineage. We have the Nine of Swords. Okay, we're starting to get to see the picture here. We have the Knight of Swords. Holy cow. Pile number 2. You saw me pick the cards. Right there on camera. We have the whole family here. Knight, Queen, and Kings. Wait, sorry. That distracted me. I didn't... Okay. And then we have the Knight of Cups. Okay. So we have a little bit of advice from your from your future self too, in regards to asking about this strong desire we have. I'm not sure if it made any clearer, but yeah, there's this strong foundational kind of almost obligation, obligation, determination to carry on a lineage of sorts, of spirituality, and it's like in this process that you feel that would give you such lightedness, such lightheartedness. Perhaps you feel like this not unattainable, this goal towards spirituality is it's a process that you must attain, either through lineage or some sort of obligation. You feel like you have to put your emotions aside and be very cerebral and very mental and very dedicated, very devoted to it. Strict, yes, is another word that's coming through. You have to be very strict and regimented and very orderly about it. Yes, because it often feels... unattainable is not the right word. It just feels like the goal is so far away. That's why you feel like you have to put in a lot of extra work, or really dedicated work, pushing yourself so hard, pushing yourself so vigorously to like, okay, I have to achieve this. There's something I have to accomplish. So we get the energy and the drive behind your desire in here. It feels very obligatory. It feels like putting the emotions aside. It feels very what's the word? Well, besides strict, right? It feels very... I guess strict is very... discipline is also another good word for it. Yeah, it feels like you have to exert this discipline, this strictness to your spiritual path, in terms of finding something. Interesting. So that's the desire that's coming through here. Okay. And the piece of advice is to bring a bit more of ease and emotion into this, pile number 2. Perhaps part of the lineage, part of the culture that's coming through as well. It's required you to do things in a very precise, methodical manner. But it doesn't hurt to do it with more mindfulness and a bit of softness to it. You don't necessarily have to incorporate all your emotions in it, but bringing a bit of soothing emotional element to it could ease you from your stress and your burdens in your pursuit of this goal that you so strongly desire for. Okay, can we get a little bit more info, please, Spirit, on how they can... Yes, how can pile number 2 do this with ease? Okay, let's ask your empowered future self. If pile 2 could have done it differently, how would they do it? Let's ask your future empowered self that it's like, because we know you can and you have reached a successful point in the future, Pile2, but how can you do it more with ease? Okay, Pile2's future empowered self. If you could have done it differently, how would you do it? How would you do it with more ease? Okay. Okay, we have 1. Let's see. 2. No, this one. And 3. And I also want to take this one. Yeah, it's slipping away from me. Okay, there we go. No, that's okay. Okay, we'll leave that there in case we need it. How can Pile2 do this more ease? 10 of Pentacles. Strong lineage. Pile number 2. Strong family obligation. 3 of Swords. And we have 4 of Wands. And let's get that card that we put back. Ace of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, now I see you're extremely determined. Okay. Then we will leave it at that. We will not push it anymore. Yeah, this obligation is quite strong. You don't have to. I love how we can see it's almost like you see in this card, they are successful, right? They're celebrating. But we see her still kind of tugging here at this rope on the heartstring of, yeah, it's almost like you're tearing into yourself. Okay. So the best message I can give you, Pile number 2, and the best message that they have for you is, regardless of how much effort you put in it, or the intensity that you put in it, because we already know one way or another you're going to put in a lot of dedication, a lot of work, a lot of effort, very strict, very methodical, very determined. You will come out successful, and it will lead you perhaps potentially to a new path in the 3D realm. There's a practical way to bring this out and to approach this. Yeah. All right, Pile number 2. That was your reading. Yes, much love and encouragement for you. I would say, you know, don't be too hard on yourself, but I think you know yourself quite well enough, and your conviction is quite strong, so I would just leave it at that. Yeah, your future empowered self, however, is saying that you will come out successful, and you can celebrate that aspect. So yeah, best of luck with that. All right, Pile number 2, wonderful reading. I hope that helps. If you found the message helpful, insightful, or you liked it, please consider liking and subscribing. Other than that, I wish you a magical, wonderful, lovely day. Take care, shine bright, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye, Pile number 2. Hello, Pile3. Welcome to your reading. All right, let's dive straight into your oracles. And Pile3, your energy, first of all, was quite interesting. It almost feels like a wild card. And also, you have a lot of oracles. So, yeah, we have a lot of oracles to read for you. Okay, so let's see here. We start off with Ma'at. Okay, wow. Let's see what your future's empowered self has to say for you. Balance and justice, okay. Ooh. An arbiter of justice. Okay, let's see what this one is next. The edge of evolution feels messy. Huh. Very strong energy coming through already. All right, and we have the mountain. Oh, okay. Bringing a whole wave of energy here. We have embrace the masculine. Next we have variance. And then we have spirit guides, looking for signs, philosophical discussion, and supervision. Okay. All right, pile number 3. So the energy that is coming through for you, what more so what your future empowered self is saying and encouraging is, one is, I hear arbiter of justice, arbiter of peace, truth and justice. We have Ma'at coming through here. So you're like this new, at least your future empowered self saying like you are this arbiter, this bringer of a new wave of energy, a new era of something quite magnificent, right? We talk about the wild card energy that I was getting for you in the shuffling process. So you're bringing in a lot of different things. And we have messengers here too as two of your oracles. But yeah, it's almost like, okay, help me out here, Spirit. Are they bringing, okay, yeah, they're bringing a platform, they're bringing a multitude of shifts in regards to guides that are coming through. Yeah, we're talking about an arbiter here. So it's not like you're one direct person or source that carries all this just on your shoulder or all in your hands, right? It's almost like you're bringing a group with you, the spirit team. But this group is on a broader scale. Yes, it is higher connections for sure, absolutely. And it's coming to help out the humanity on this planet. I mean, with the population on this planet, it's almost to almost to like kind of corral them, or yeah. So yeah, you're a wild card because you're bringing all these different guys, different people, different beings of higher vibration. Yeah, it's a wave of energy of, how should I say, just a bunch of different entities and people doing different things, and somehow you will be kind of like the opener or like of the floodgates for all those people. You're like, it's not like you're the leader, but it's more like you're the messenger of sorts that will help bring forth all these people and all these different types of guides through. Interesting. I'm having a hard time pinpointing down the exact energy because I think that's the variance we have here with multiple guides, multiple entities, multiple dimensional entities coming through. So it's like it's all over the place. different energies and different energy wavelengths, different energy waves and vibes coming through. So it's not just, it's hard to just pinpoint like, oh, you know, you're bringing in the Andromedans or like the Lemurians energy, or yeah, it's not just one specific group, it's like a bunch of different groups coming through. Different lineage I see as well. Very interesting. That's why there was a bunch of oracles for your reading as well, and they all don't seem to have that much synchronicities or coherence with them, because they all are bringing their own individual aspects or their own energy and wavelength into whatever work you're creating. Perhaps you are working on an intergalactic network kind of sort in the future. Your empowered self in the future here is working on an intergalactic connectivity. And it's like, if you think of it like the UN, but like for spiritual guides and the universe. Yeah, so let's put it that way. So yeah, it's like you can't just pinpoint that like, hey, you know, let's hear from Uganda and what they have to say, and that pervades for everybody. No, it's like there's Uganda, there's France, there's like China, there's like multiple. Yeah, so but that's for you, your future self, your future empowered self on an intergalactic, multi-dimensional kind of form. Wow, very interesting. Because right now where we are is on the edge of evolution, and of course it's very messy on this planet right now, right? A lot of different things going on, a lot of different energy dynamics shifting, a lot of global scale changes going on, and that's why all these different energies and beings and guides are coming through, because they all play different parts in regards to the planet and its growth, but they all are at the same time kind of working almost kind of in conjunction with each other, but in their own individual fields and forms. Very interesting. Wow, okay. Yeah. Yeah, not an energy we can pinpoint, and we just can't put a pin down and say, like, hey, this is this. No, it's quite a variance here in terms of the energies that's coming through. But we do know what you are bringing forth, or helping assist with all these different beings, is truth and peace to the general collective consciousness here. Yes. Okay, let's get into your Lenormand next, because I think we kind of established that point here. And the Lenormand you have, or the form of your Lenormand that came out, is a fence. When we were talking about corralling things earlier, perhaps certain ideas, corralling certain people, certain groups, certain power potential dynamics, it's like when you corral cows, right? It's like you put a fence around them to kind of contain them so they don't wander all about. And that's the Lenormand we have for you today. So we have 3 here on this side of the fence. So we'll put it like this. And then we have 3 over here for this part of the fence. And then we have 3 over here for this part of the fence. So as you can see, it's like the shape of a fence, but yeah, all leading, all connecting into truth, into Ma'at here. All right, let's start with our first card here. Of course, the first one we get is the one that came out in your selection process, and we have the reiteration of the mountain again. So we'll talk about the struggle of the energy here, or the blockage of the energy of it coming through here. But let me see if we can get the energy of this card here. Yeah, I see this person pulling this yak by the horns, and while spirit's on the other side. Okay, I see. All right, and then we have the house. Okay. And then we have the tree. Very similar patterns of people not noticing things or not wanting to go a certain way. Yes, so we have the coffin next. Makes very much sense. And we have Egyptian references again. And we have the heart. And then we have the rider. Not noticing the danger here. Or neglecting something. Okay, and then we have the garden. And then we have the feminine energy or the woman. And then we have the book. It reminds me of ego sitting on top of knowledge. Ego sitting on top of knowledge and wisdom and holding it there. Okay, so let's look at this in terms of over here. And the guides in terms of over here. This part. So we're talking about the human evolution throughout history, throughout time, is what we're looking at here. Throughout, human history, it's like part of it is them suppressing, or humanity is just kind of suppressing what they know is truthful, what is beneficial, what is quote unquote right, what is most beneficial for the growth and the evolution of humanity. But they don't do it, right? It's like here's a simple example. It's like somebody who knows that, if they eat, healthier, they would not have health issues. They know that, but are they going to do that? No. They're like, I still want my snacks, I want my junk food because it's more appealing to me. And that's the kind of energy we're getting here throughout the stages of evolution. They know how to progress. They know how to benefit the whole community, the whole world, but either via selfish means or some other, greed or whatever have you, they don't follow the virtues that will lead them to greater evolution and a greater world. That's why we have the fence containing them and corralling them in. It's like, hey, let's get you to this area. Let's get you to this part of evolution because this is where we are now. Yeah, throughout history, like, it's whether there's a multitude of things here, right? Just like you're reading here. Lack of heart, not being aware of the dangers of their ego or being entrapped in their ego, or when they see opportunities for advancement, for evolution, for improvement, they just kind of let it by. They don't really jump on the opportunity. And therefore, that's the main obstacle we're dealing with. It's like, it's the stubbornness. That's what the main energy that's coming through here. It's the stubbornness that prevents people from evolving to greater heights. It's a combination of stubbornness and then perhaps apathy as well. It's like, oh, why bother? It's that kind of energy. It's like, either it's like, I don't want to do it, or, you know, I don't want to bother. And that's why there's all these different groups and beings and higher guides, dimensional beings coming in to help, because like they all speak a different kind of language, both, well, literally, and also kind of speak a different kind of energy. For those who are perhaps apathetic, this certain group will know how to deal with that. For those who are greedy, there's another group of entity of higher guides and vibration that will know how to deal with that. And your empowered self, your empowered future self's role is to be kind of like the liaison, the messenger, the emissary of all these beings. So you're like this central pivoting role that kind of connects them all. You're like the foreman of the whole forum, of the meeting. Yeah. So it's like there's all these people who have something to speak about, but you're the one that kind of stands up and introduces everybody and kind of points out. It's like, oh, next speaker we have so on and so forth, and then you present them out to the masses, to the public, because evolution is messy. Okay. Really unique skill to have. What your empowered future self is coming through to say, being this emissary, being this arbiter, this messenger. It's really a wonderful thing, and it's at a time that we so much need it, because there's so many people just the image I'm getting is like when the lambs, like when the gates fall down, right, there's no corralling them, and they're just all running amok, all the sheep's running amok, and it's like, okay, it's like having a herd dog kind of like corralling them and gathering them in. Very interesting. Okay. So that's most of these aspects we talked about. Let's talk about this side of the fence right here. This side of the fence is, yes, the global scale, the community, being more receptive to kind of that esoteric knowledge or that wisdom that can be attained, but is being suppressed by ego, by greed, fear, guilt, you name it. Qualities and traits that are kind of detracting from wisdom, from accepting wisdom. Okay, let's move on to our tarot here. So we have the Queen of Swords, and then we have the Three of Pentacles, and then we have Strength, and then we have the King of Swords. Interesting. Next we have the Knight of Cups. I see. Okay, and then last we have the Six of Swords. Yes. And notice how this Six of Swords look very similar to this King of Swords. As if they're like the same person. It's the same person who will take people away from their stressful situation. I do see a firmness that comes with this. Okay. Alright, so part of what your empowered future self is saying is, in the process of being this liaison and messenger, right? Coming out like that foreman we talk about, you have to have some sense of authority, and you do have a lot of sense of authority about you, even though you may just be an emissary. But if you think about emissaries and messengers in the past, especially during wartime throughout human history, they had a lot of respect, right? It's like that saying, like, don't shoot the messenger, because they are considered one of the most essential, if not like one of the most revered and respected part of the connection and the dynamic, because they are kind of like the only way to mediate, or to not even mediate, to kind of pass the message between two opposing parties that are not willing to connect or communicate. Like the messenger or the emissary is so revered in that way that you don't ever harm or touch the messenger, and that's the power that's coming through here with you. The authority that you have, and to convey it with such heart, and to collaborate with all these guides, all these beings, all these intergalactic higher vibration beings, to and you also see the synchronicities here. Absolutely wonderful. This wave of magic is very similar to this wave of magic here. So it takes strength to be in the position that you do, and you do have that strength. You have that authority and that strength about you, to be this emissary, to be this messenger. Because going back to that messenger analogy in the history of humankind, you're literally marching from one opposing side into the other opposing side. It takes such a lot of courage and strength to do that, to convey the message, because you don't know whether you're you're literally stepping into dangerous way, into the lion's den, so to speak. So you don't know what's going to happen to you. So it takes a lot of courage to go forth and deliver that message, right? So it takes a lot of courage and leadership and authority, to bring about the messages, perhaps, or the connection, or some way to connect all these beings, these guides, into the general population, into people's lives. Yeah. Think of it as like, telling somebody, like, this is an example, but telling somebody or a group of people who you necessarily don't know whether they believe that aliens exist or not, but you, for example, you know that they exist, so you go there and to tell them, and you don't know how it's going to be received, right? You don't know whether they're gonna like do you harm because they think you're crazy, or they're gonna be receptive. But regardless of how they receive it, or how they might receive it, you step forward to be the liaison, to bring forth that knowledge, that connection. Yeah. And I'm feeling here primarily energies. There could be people coming through here to help you as well. No, I think it's more than could. I think there are going to be guides that will help you along the way. It's very specific, either vibration of a guide here, or a certain set of guides coming to help people out of their misery, their stress, their worry, their anxieties, moving them away from a situation that is very detrimental, that it eats at them. And of course, you'll be the liaison through these guides here, but we talk about how it's the same kind of group person here. And the other aspect is kind of like, it's an interesting energy from the Knight of Cups here. Usually we see somebody who's very emotionally attuned and inclined, right? But this falling between the swords here, in particular, and a lot more swords with strength here, we see this knight, this messenger, also coming from the intergalactic team somewhere or other guides, it's kind of like helping people not necessarily curtail their emotions, but curb their emotions. What do I mean by that? What do they mean by that? It's like it's navigating the emotions, but bringing some form of practicality to it, perhaps, or logic or reasoning to balance it out. Let's give you an example so you get a better feel of it. Let's say a major event occur in the world, and people are reacting very viscerally, very emotionally to it, very strongly. And this guide comes down through your connection and be like, okay, I acknowledge, your emotions, feel them, express them, but do so in a constructive manner, not just in a way that perplexes you more or that confuses you more. Like, don't wallow in those emotions, but find a healthy way to express and to feel them. That's what's coming through here via this guide. Yeah. Absolutely wonderful. A lot of major change and shifts going on through the evolution of humanity, and you're going to play your future empowered self is telling you you're going to play a major key and role in this aspect, via connecting the people and the population with a bunch of different guides that will kind of help humanity in this process. Wow. Really great energy. Pile number 3. Yeah, very, very interesting. Yeah, that wild card kind of energy coming through here. Yeah, I think that sums up your message. That is something to look forward to. Keep at it, keep working at it if you're not already there, but be resolute. Don't, you have this sense of truth, justice, and authority about you. So no need to waver if for some of you that are uncertain perhaps, but I'm getting very strong vibes here that most of you know what you're doing and are very firm in that process as well. So yeah, absolutely wonderful. All right, part number 3, that was your reading. If you found it helpful, insightful, or you like it, please consider liking and subscribing. Other than that, I wish you a wonderful, magical day. Have a lovely time, shine bright, take care, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye, part number 3. Hello, Pile4. Welcome to your reading. All right, let's see what your future empowered self wants to say to you or wants to convey. Let's start with this oracle here. We have Mystic Healer, with healing energy flows through you. A reprieve in the night. Okay. And then we have Wondrous Universe, walk in beauty. We see the same kind of stance here, or the same gesture here. Opening yourself up to the universe. Mystic. I want to say a wondrous healer of the mystic universe. Interesting. Okay. Okay, let's see what else we have. We have purity. Okay, seeing beyond the veil. And we have happiness. Okay. Absolutely lovely. And we have standstill. I see. You're bridging a standstill. Okay, we have a merry motive. have seeing beyond. And you see the similarity here with the two different eyes in the cards here, stars. Okay, so let's see what your empowered future self is trying to tell us here. It's speaking upon your, more so your being of just who you are. I would say rather than your goal, your purpose, or your mission, because just in being who you are, the wondrous mystic healer of the universe that you are, as you walk your existence and just being in peace and in beauty, that literally is you're like this walking magical wonder, and that you can heal people around you, because there's several abilities to you, right? You have the ability to really connect with source, with spirit. We have very mystical kind of feeling here. The energy that I got in your shuffling process was very wise, very attuned, very in tune, very mystical, intuitive. Yeah, all that kind of vibe, like very magical and mystical air around you. And as you're walking your path here, or just being you, being the presence of who you are, and exuding and expressing your existence, your being upon the world, just doing your every daily life thing, you exude magic, you exude healing, just naturally by being who you are. And I would say not a lot of people, just has that ability of just being who they are, and just naturally healing the vibration around them. Part of the 36 might be significant for some of you. They just pointed that out. Part of that is being so attuned, so connected, so intuitive, so mystical. You're able to see and bridge beyond the veil very easily. You can see the energy and between the physical world and the spiritual world so easily. It just flows through you so naturally. What do I mean by that? When when you talk about something, or when you express your thoughts about something, it can sound very mystical to somebody else, or like a normal lay person, but to you, to a normal lay person, it sounds so mystical, but to you it sounds so normal because you do it so naturally. Yes. And in doing this so naturally, that's what's the magic of your healing, and the magic of your beauty, and the magic of you, which is pure magic and intuition that's just coming through. So yeah, absolutely wonderful. Part of your future self's empowerment advice is just keep on being you, right? And of course you can always strive for more if you want to develop yourself, but part of your magic is already just being you. All right, and that's the thing. You want to walk this world to exude your beauty, your light, your healing energy, but also kind of like being very friendly, being merry, being very, very friendly, and inviting people naturally into the process. You're not somebody who kind of like has very strong, assertive, young energy that coerces or push people. You prefer to just naturally smoothly invite people into a situation. If somebody wants to do something because of your suggestion, hey, that's great. That makes you happy. If not, that's okay too. That also makes you happy. It's that kind of happy, easy, lucky going vibe. Yes. Happy-go-lucky kind of energy about you. It's not like some people have a more assertive, strong energies like, hey, you should do this, like, go try this out, go do that, like, no, like, you really should do it. Like, they're very adamant about it. For you, it's totally the opposite. It's like, oh, if you want to try it out, cool, go try it out and see if you enjoy it. If you don't want to try it out, that's cool too. So it's that very easygoing energy here. And part of what you'll be doing and what you'll be helping people with is, especially when they feel like their head is in the sand, like an ostrich, or like being stuck in the mud, or like in the swamp here, being at standstill, especially with other people and with themselves. Let's say some people are in an argument or something, and they met at a stalemate, an impasse, and they can't resolve the issue, and you're just kind of like, you were strolling by and you saw them, and you're like just observing them, and you just kind of stroll on through and be like, oh, hey, well, how about, like, I just kind of overheard, and you throw out a suggestion, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, actually that will work. And you kind of just bring this happy, merry energy all around you. So yeah, absolutely wonderful. Such a nice, cozy, soothing vibe about you to come through this energy here. So absolutely wonderful. Yeah, and that in itself is naturally healing. And we see it kind of encompasses like an arch or like a rainbow here over this very stuck standstill point, or this energy that people get entrapped in. Yeah, because also in your energy, it's very pure. It's very I don't want to say innocent, but yeah, there's the purity of this energy around you of who you are. So yeah, absolutely wonderful. Such a lovely, wonderful, loving energy. Thank you for being here. I absolutely love your energy. It feels great to be doing this reading for you. All right, let's look into. I didn't even think of it. I didn't remember it, but just talking so much about your energy here, I was asking Spirit what forms were, because we usually do a Lenormand form, right? And usually Spirit gives me something. But during the shuffling process, before I even saw any of these cards, Spirit was telling me, like, there's no form for the Lenormand for pile number 4. It's just free flowing, whatever you want to make of it. And that's your energy coming through here. So it's absolutely amazing to see that synchronicity with your Lenormand here. Because yeah, your Lenormand doesn't take any specific form or shape. It's just 5 cards that we're going to present to you. Just an amazing match with your energy. So easy, happy-go-lucky, smooth, easy-going vibe here. All right, so let's look at your Lenormand. We have the Star with hope, inspiration, progress to go, spirituality, optimism, and dreams. Yeah, okay. And also the oracles, I'll point it out in a second, but the oracles that came out for you too. We have the Scythe with accidents, hasty decisions, danger, a warning, speed, and reckoning. Okay. And then we have Crossroads with choices, many opportunities, travel, separation, hesitations, and decisions. Okay. And then we have the Child, new beginnings, inexperience, innocence, immaturity, child, and play. And then we have Fish with gain, values, finances, business, wealth, and abundance. And you know what? This reminds me of Dory from Finding Nemo. So yeah, we have very much the full kind of energy here. Yeah, the full from the tarot, and that energy embodies, you know, pure innocence, and an inquisitive nature, a curious nature about the world. And the fool is just ready to set out on his or her journey, not really being aware of the dangers out there, just really being hopeful, being optimistic about life in general, because spirits constantly watching out for that person about to embark on their journey with such childlike innocence and energy, and that kind of new beginning. I'm curious if we're going to get the Fool in your tarot, but there is a word of warning. Well, not warning, might be a strong word. A word of caution when it comes to this kind of energy, right? As you go about the world, being so easy going, so happy, carefree, go lucky, kind of like Dory here. Yeah, like if any of you have seen Nemo, you know that as Dory kind of ambles around, like she isn't really aware of the dangers of the situation she might get into, because she has that innocent energy around her, that's such curious, free, loving energy that she just bounces around without caring about a thing in the world. And the word of caution is that yeah, just be mindful where you're going, and being so connected, being so intuitive, you can sense the energy around you, right? So use that ability to your advantage. When you sense a certain location or a group of people that may seem a bit like the energy vibe just feels kind of off, it will be well advised to kind of steer yourself away from that, or just don't go there in the first place. Even though you may have a curious nature and easygoing nature, saying like, oh, you know, what could possibly be wrong if I talk to this group of people? I don't feel like anything's gonna happen, but there might be danger that lies there within. Because as much as a free, caring, nomad spirit, innocent person you are going, a person that you are going about the world, in the world, you know, that's what makes this world, this planet, very interesting. There's a plethora, a variety of energies, both lower vibration, higher vibration, all kinds of vibration, and all kinds of possibilities, right? So if you aren't careful, you might stumble into situations that might be difficult for you, where certain people or certain group don't have the best intentions. So even though you might just kind of amble on in, like just being naturally who you are, sometimes it might bring you perhaps stress or potential dangers that are unnecessary, is what's coming through. Yes. So, you know, go around, spread your happiness, spread the magic of who you are, be the wonderful universal healer, this magnanimous, intuitive, loving, carefree person you are. But do note that the world have different energies, and sometimes certain people, certain places, certain situations do not carry the best vibration, and you do have the choice to go there, but just be aware that the result you might find may be kind of off-putting for you. I'll just leave it that way. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely wonderful. Let's move on to your tarot here. So we have the Page of Coins. Okay. And then we have the Page of Swords. Okay. And then we have Judgment. Gosh, there's just so many synchronistic cards to indicate the same message for you. It's absolutely wonderful. And then we have the Nine of Swords. Okay. Yes. All right, Pile4. So these are the energy you embody. Yeah, this and this one too. This wondrous, curious, inquisitive adventurer. We have 2-page energy, right? Very young. What I say? Very malleable energy is what I would say. Yes, it's not a knight, it's not a queen, it's not a king, it's a page. It's the beginning of the court suits. Very seeking, adventurous, that full energy we talked about earlier. But in that process, in that innocence, there's a bit of that disregard or perhaps lack of maturity about the potential dangers, right? It's not a queen or it's not a king who knows quite well of all the dualities and all the different dynamics of humanity. The page just sets out with the adventurous spirit that they have without really too much considering about the broader spectrum of thing about potential dangers, politics, all these stuff, you name it. But I see in that innocence energy is like what we talked about earlier. That's part of your magic and your healing and giving equal reciprocity to those who need it, and also giving kind of like being like a mediator as well. A natural mediator. It's like if you see two people fighting, it's like that standstill point we talked about earlier, and you come upon and you offer a different perspective, then it really helps them out. And I see that same energy here. It's like, oh hey, hold on there a minute, buddy. Like let this person talk for a little bit, and then we'll hear your side. So, and then the people are very amenable to that. They're very easygoing and forthcoming with your suggestion. And Sun Wukong here, like this is quite a famous story. Like most people know it, but the Monkey King, it's a story about how this Monkey King goes on a journey with several other companions to fulfill a quest. Basically a quest. But the energy of that the Monkey King embodies is that really adventurous kind of energy, but sometimes being too adventurous, being too curious, being too unaware puts him in dangers and situations, because of his lack of being aware. So, but on your path, just being who you are, which is walking towards your path of ascension as well, your future empowered self is coming through to kind of make you just aware of this. Because in this card here, we're talking about the story of Oedipus Rex. And the thing is, the Oracle of Delphi tells Oedipus the misfortune that he's going to encounter, especially with his child, King Linnaeus, I think was his name, and his son Oedipus. She foretells him that that his son, Linnaeus' son, is going to overthrow him, going to kill him. And this is a story about well, it's a warning, but it's also the energy I'm getting here with the story is kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So as you listen to this reading in general, right? Don't let it be a fulfilling prophecy. Yes, we are pointing out, especially from your future empowered self, about potential dangers and stuff. But that's the very essence about the future. It is immediately changeable at every point in time. The future is never set in stone. The future happens in accordance to every single moment of the present. So the moment you change something, a point in the present, it alternates the potential reality of what the future can become. So that's the advice that's coming through here. Do heed the words of caution here, but do not make it a self-fulfilling prophecy. So yeah, be the wondrous marvel that you are is what I would say. This ball of light and happiness and carefree go-lucky adventurer. But just, note in the back of your mind that, we talk about those lower vibration, those, beings or those people or those certain circumstances and situations that might not have your best interest in mind. But it's to make you aware, not to make you paranoid or to make it a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like, oh well, now that I heard this reading about caution and danger, then is that what I'm going to experience in the future? No, absolutely not. It's just a potential. It's just to make you aware. It's like the warning labels on foods or on the perfect one that's coming across is like the warning label that says like, oh, this product contains potential carcinogens, and there's a difference between being aware that it might be carcinogenic and making a self-fulfilling prophecy where like, oh well, if I eat this then I'm gonna get cancer. So no, it's like that's not the case. The same goes for this reading. The same message is coming through from your empowered future self. Remember, it is your empowered future self here, not your depowered future self. The depowered future self would be falling into that trapping of a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like, oh, now I heard this reading about, potential dangers. It's like, oh, that means I'm going to get into danger. Absolutely not. Absolutely the opposite. In hearing about this, you're like, okay, I'm still going to be the wonderful person that I am. I'm still going to be exploring. I'm going to be like talking to new different people, because that's the magic and wonder of who you are. Don't ever let that weigh you down or scare you from opportunities, right? But just be wary. That's all we're saying. Just be cautious. Just have the notion in the back of your mind. It's like, so you can better assess your situation and make decisions accordingly. That's the same thing that with the Fool card. It's like your spirit guides are always there protecting you, especially with the dog in the Fool card. Like, yeah, the spirit is working with you, always looking out for you. Your guides, your team are there protecting you, so you don't have to be too worried. But we do have free will. We have choice to make. So just be wary of the decisions of your choices. That's all we're saying. Okay, absolutely wonderful reading, pile number 4. So that's what your empower future self is coming out to say. Just be the wonderful marvel that you are. Keep on being a ball of light that keeps on healing. Use your knowledge and intuition, especially your intuition, the ability to see between the veils, to connect with the spiritual world. Just be a ball of happiness. That is you. And then go out in the world and just be the magic that you are. Absolutely lovely. Wonderful. Thank you so much for bringing your energy here, Pile 4. I've such enjoyed your presence and message here. So Yes, with that, we'll conclude the reading here. If you found the message helpful, insightful, or you like it, consider liking and subscribing. I wish you an absolutely wonderful, magical day. Hope you have a really good day, and shine bright as you always do. Take care, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye, Pile number 4s.